Hi, it's Patrick and welcome to Project ConcreteJungle. Today we'll be talking with Daniel Cervantes who will be explaining to us exactly what TEDxKL is all about and a short insight into what to expect on the next coming TEDx Youth happening on November 19th. Hi Daniel, welcome to Project ConcreteJungle. Thank you very much for spending the time.
Hey, sorry, to restart again. Do I call you Gordon or Patrick?
Hey, you can call me Patrick.
Okay, got it. Okay, hey, I think you want to start it again or just start it again?
That's perfectly fine.
Sure.
Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is about TEDx. Now you're the local curator for the event, and
Yeah.
I think for the benefit of a lot of people, I think we would like to know a little bit about what is TEDxKL.
So essentially, this started off with TED. TED is a program started about 20 years ago, and recently it got taken over by Chris Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
There was a vision of actually ideas were spreading. That wasn't really the original vision of TEDx, but they realized there's a lot of people that organize local community events for TED video screening ever since they released their video online.
Mm-hmm.
And that started off with a big one over in Tokyo, and that is the genesis of TEDx, where TED wanted to have some sort of control in terms of how the event will be played out and how the event will be, and also in terms of how the audience actually experience TED instead of something that people want. So they devised this program called TEDx, where X actually stands for independently licensed TED program. And it started off as me and I'm the founding curator. Actually, we started the first TEDx in Malaysia. There are currently quite a few. I'll explain a bit later why is that so. And TEDxKL was actually we kind of like the idea of TED a lot, and we like the whole vision of it, and we felt that there's a lot of things that we can use to go and share in terms of scientific achievement or undiscovered hero in Malaysia. So we sort of use it as a platform that to find interesting ideas that's worth spreading in Malaysia itself and hopefully around the region.
Okay, that's great. So how long has TEDxKL been around?
This is the last one is our third incarnation. So we did our very first one, very sort of informal, very low production value kind of thing over in Plug and Play, which is located in the Gardens. And with that we had Roshan Kiran, Kit Chan, the photographer. We also had the late Yasmin Ahmad. That was a month before her passing, which is kind of sad, but at the same time was if you can find her video online, that is her very last public appearance actually.
Yeah, it was a very inspirational talk that she made. Now, can you tell us a little bit about what TED actually signify? The original TED. What was the objective of the original TED, and how much of that objective has transcended down to TEDx?
So originally you have to look at the name. Let me bring up the name, the founder of TED. But the original TED actually is actually started as technology, entertainment, and design. And the very first few TED is what they did is they actually showcased stuff like the very first mouse. I mean, that is like it's sort of like a really cutting edge conference. So, but when Chris Anderson sort of took over TED, and it became a much more of a visionary, futuristic, humanitarian kind of platform. So that's why you actually get people like Richard Dawkins, Bill Gates talking about malaria, and there's a lot of humanity aspect in the thing. So actually TED started in 1984, and then it's been going on since all around actually. It's been quite crazy. The founder of TED, yes, is Richard Wallman. That is the original founder of TED. He's no longer involved in TED currently, but I think he's involved in one of the smaller TEDx that he just goes around and etc.
Okay, and how do you curate the individuals or that comes on to TED?
Well, for our process, we actually always start on in terms of the team. The very first one, we don't have a team. So the second one, we sort of model it after TED Global, which is what the world need. And so the second one is what Malaysia need in terms of we have Pete Kill, we have Arina Maswan, we have Peter Nico, and sharing ideas that how can we improve Malaysia. The last one, the most recent one, is something called We Have a Secret. And in this thing, we look at, when you look at the names of most of the people that presented in the last TEDx, they are not exactly very famous people, but you know, those people who actually went there, they were wow, because it's like, wow, this, I never know this guy here. I never know Palf, who is a turtle conservationist specialist, and what she does. And we just wanted to open up the eyes of our audience and say like, hey, you know, there are a lot more awesome heroes that are awesome. Well, people doing awesome stuff actually, more like that. And we want to use that as a platform to showcase those things. Yeah.
And how do you find these people?
Mostly it's through friends' recommendation, and I mean, we look around in terms of our team, and we do keep a list of who do we want, what's our ideal list, and we try to get a sense of how would they fit in the picture, how would they actually play. So we hope to actually bring in something unique every single TEDx experience in KL.
Okay, so earlier you mentioned that there is a few variation of TEDx in Malaysia. Can you elaborate a little bit about that?
So one of the things that we usually do is we started off this on the second year, we started off this thing called TEDx Youth Ambassador. Essentially, we get a bunch of youth defined as between 18 to 25. Most of them are either, they have a process to actually sign in, to register themselves, but we select youth leaders who are either site leaders, Isaac, or you have done something remarkable by your own right. And we use this platform to give the youth more like experiential learning in terms of, you know, they get involved in something quite a large scale production basically. So a lot of these people are youth leaders. And the other thing is, after TEDxKL, we always encourage them to actually branch off to their hometown or whatever to go and start their own TEDx. So we have TEDx Gurney Drive, we have TEDx Ipoh, there is an up and coming TEDx Youth at KL. So the TEDx Youth at KL is actually, it's more like the final exam for our youth ambassadors. So they got a whole bunch of speakers from what they learned previously. It's definitely a low cost production, but at the same time, it's also a good experience for them to exercise for them. So we take a step back. We help them to curate, but we take a step back. Jason, Aiden, myself, we take a step back and we observe. We help them out wherever they can to actually for them to create their own particular event and with their own style. So yeah.
So when you guys first came across TED and wanted to bring TEDx into Malaysia, what was the first few thought processes that you guys went through? And was there a problem that you foresee that you needed to resolve using TED, or it was just, oh, this is cool stuff, we should bring it to our people? Well,
my first impression was because I saw TEDx Singapore and I was like, oh my god, there's this TEDx Singapore thing. I mean, I didn't know. I was so excited immediately. I remember I was in Singapore. I was in E27's office and I straight away applied for it. And it's like immediately when I saw it, I just find out how to apply, and I look at the criteria. It's like, yeah, I've done some stuff before. I've done several community events and etc. I even didn't think about like how crazy it was, you know. Then when the first one, I took it very lightly. I sort of thought it was like, yeah, it's just another event. I've done events. I gathered people together, but it was such a humbling experience. I tell you, in terms of the very first one, we didn't really curate this because much I don't understand the idea of curation. In terms of, hey, I thought, you know, every of these presenters have their own unique personality to bring out, but there is so many layers into it. For example, in TED itself, they actually spent about a month with a speaking coach to go and teach the speakers how to speak, how to present, how to capture the audience attention over that. And that was such an eye-opener for me. There was one of the key rules is for the speakers not to sell. I mean, of course, when they're up there, they're selling something, but you're not supposed to sell about what you do and stuff like that. And one of our presenters, for the very first one, actually, he gave a sales pitch, and I broke down in tears. At halfway through the event, I just went up to him. I said, "I'm sorry, I have to cut this thing off. I have to get next speaker." He's a dear friend of mine, okay? But unfortunately, I have to bar him from ever presenting in TEDx ever again, because he has such a beautiful story, but I do not know what happened without preparation or something like that. He just went out and talk about, oh yeah, we got how many partners, we did this stuff. I'm like, that wasn't the story you're supposed to tell. You're supposed to share something that inspires, supposed to share so our very first criteria is like, hey, are you a fan of TED? If we actually approach you as a speaker, the very first question we ask is like, are you a fan of TED? Have you actually watched TED before? What is your favorite video? I mean, what actually inspired you? So we get a general sense. The workload is cut by half. At least we do not need to go through the whole expense of that, what TED is.
Yeah, I guess when you're up there on the stage, it's quite hard for you to cut away from a thin red line between a sales pitch and an inspirational story.
Yeah, I mean the last TEDx was a good example. I mean, Pal was very worried because she was essentially talking about Turtle Conservation Center. It was an NGO that she started. It was essentially a pitch to sell the NGO, because I thought it was such a fantastic work that I think she's my tuition mate or something like that. And she went out and became a marine biologist. She's actually taking a doctorate in marine biology to save turtles. I mean, she was talking about the declining rate of turtle terrapins and tortoises, and that sort of touched me. That was a sales pitch. It wasn't. I mean, if you can look at it, it could be a sales pitch, but it's not. It's something from the heart. It's something that she was sharing her experience, she was sharing her passion, and she had a standing ovation for that. Before the event, she was so worried about actually getting on stage, and I told her, she was like, so you guys max out the place? Yeah, we sort of max out. Then then it's like, oh, okay, then then all of a sudden someone said, hey, the live stream, we're having issues. Then she said, there's live stream. We usually get about a couple of hundred, maybe 500 more people actually looking at the live stream. So it's she freaked out. Yeah, but I actually spent about once a week talking to her about her presentation, talking about what she's supposed to go through and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, she delivered, and I was so touched that everyone felt that they could have done something remarkable. Her message was very clear, and in terms of it make you feel you want to do something that we are here in a very limited time on Earth, and should just do something crazy and do something remarkable and do something you like. In fact.
Okay, so what about all the stories that you've done besides the last one you did with the dolphins? Were there like any other inspirational talks that you recall?
So the other one I kind of like is actually Arena. Arena was on the second TEDx. She does something called Malaysian Design Archive. That is slightly controversial. Essentially, she collected graphic designs from pre-independence up to now and look through what's the evolution of our culture, what's the evolution of stuff that has been going through. For example, one of the posters she displayed was essentially it's basically an advertisement. You see a guy drinking beer. It's like, then the word is written in Jawi. Jom minum lah tiger. It's Jawi, by the way, and the guy is the clearly distinctive Malay guy drinking beer. That was pre-independence.
Pre-independence, yeah. I saw one with Guinness Stout.
Yeah, so it was. I mean, it's just looking at how design actually is influenced by our culture and how has Malaysia's culture evolved. That just blew my mind away.
Okay, yeah. So what would a person what would the takeaway of a person who has attended a TEDx?
So there's actually two things we want to actually do in terms of TEDx. One is to open up your mind. I mean, it's actually the theme for TEDx is ideas worth spreading, and there are so many ideas out there, and you should actually be the one that we're just presenting a series of ideas that we think are cool, and we hope that you find that it's cool too. And the second thing is that we always want to present a scenario that you can actually participate in whatever ideas has been spreaded. For example, if you want to participate in the Malaysian Design Archive, or you want to participate in the Turtle Conservation Center, or if you want to participate in the Nadira's Nadira and Film Anonymous in terms of censorship in Malaysia, there are many various things you can do. Pete Teo, for example, who is our previous presenter, he has done a lot of stuff to actually encourage Malaysians to come on and participate in terms of being a voter and encouraging Malaysia to vote. So there are two things: is that you just want to take away with key ideas that can help to improve your life, and if you have the capability, participate in things that you do to improve the rest of society.
Oh, great. Okay. Last question. What would be? Yeah, tell us a little bit more about what is the expectation of going for TEDx. When would it normally be, and is there a fee? And I know there's one coming up on the 19th, right? So let's talk about that. Let's do some plugging.
So the one in 19 is actually TEDx Youth, which I mentioned. It's actually TEDx Youth at KL. It's in conjunction with World Youth Day, so there'll be a simulcast globally, and TEDx Youth at KL is actually one of the featured event, one of the 20 featured event globally. So we're kind of proud of it actually. And we used to do it free, but then we realized that there's always a cost in terms of bringing the presenters, etc. So we just want to try to cover up whatever cost. The upcoming one, I think, is like 45 ringgit. Is going to be at Microsoft KLCC. Remember to go and wear long pants if you are a guy. No shorts or slippers to be allowed for that. So Microsoft KLCC is on the 19th of November. The presenters at the moment there'll be one of my uni mate actually. He's currently a lecturer at MMU. He's doing something really cool about hacking the education system. Willie Poe. You should actually talk to him. He's like fantastic guy. He's one of my inspiration. There's Deborah Henry from who's the Miss Malaysia World, who is ambassador for World Vision Malaysia. There is Kwok Jan Han, who is a stand-up comedian. So that'll be quite cool. And there will also be Mr. Joel Neal. Joel is the co-founder of Youth Says originally, and then became Says.my, and they did something called Groupon and recently got bought over by Groupon. And fantastic presenter. I hope he's wearing a leather jacket. Yeah.
Okay, so where do we go to buy our tickets?
So for the TEDx Youth, you can actually head on to TEDxYouthKL.com. Okay, and then for TEDx, most of the stuff we do update in our TEDx group is actually Facebook.com/TEDxKL. There is about 1,600 people over there at the moment, but do participate in. We highlight what our speakers are doing. We keep, we just make sure that we are informed with our upcoming TEDx. Next big TEDxKL hopefully will be in next June. So yes. It's the very early stage of production, so I cannot review a lot of stuff. But yeah, hopefully we can exceed what we have done for the last one. Yeah.
Okay, great. Anything else you want to talk about before we go?
No, actually, if you're interested in podcasts and stuff, we do. I do a show called This Week in Asia, and we're reaching our 100th episode. It's like it's crazy, but yeah. Yeah, but we're trying to do a live stream, but so we'll keep you posted on that.
Great. So it's just one small plug about This Week in Asia. Can you explain a little bit about what TWIA is about?
So This Week in Asia actually is modeled after TWIT, which is This Week in Tech. If you are in the podcast space, if you have not listened to TWIT, shame on you.
Yeah.
So we sort of gather journalists, reporters, entrepreneurs around the region, and we talk about tech, what happened around Asia, because mostly when you listen to US podcasts, you don't actually hear anything about Asia. So we try to cover, the insight, the scoops on what's going on. Like we'll be talking about mostly like companies like DNA, Kaising 101, stuff that you don't really listen to in the US. So it's pretty exciting. My other panelists includes like Rama from Indonesia. We got from guys from Indonesia, China, India. I mean, practically all around Asia. So except for Middle East at the moment, we're trying to work on that. But yeah.
Okay. Well, to do 100 episodes of podcast, that's quite a feat to establish. So congratulations on you guys, man.
Thank you. It just creep up on us. I didn't we did it at 100 already. Yeah, so actually there's already more than 100 episodes because there's a few episodes I have not launched yet.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Patrick. Okay. Yeah. Good job, man.
Looking forward to TEDx.
Yeah. See you soon. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.